Ahoy, ladies and gents, how you doing? Welcome to the BBC Spews Live, the best live news show on fucking YouTube. Everybody knows that. I mean, who else? Would you rather listen to some tit in a suit with a posh accent talking absolute bollocks that he's being force-fed by his supreme overlord globalist paymasters? No, you wouldn't, would you? Of course you wouldn't, because you're not daft, because you watch this. What is it? It's the 19th, Thursday, the 19th of May. Welcome to the show. You know, this breaking news occurred when I was halfway through yesterday's. Brilliant. I think that's another win. That's another one in the win column for the Angry Bootneck. I was on that like white on rice. And I'm sure a few 100 million other people in the United States. Basically, anyone who's not a maniac was all over this one going, hang on a sec. Isn't this straight out of 1984? This is the George Orwell method for running the fucking world, isn't it? So, yeah, funny that. Also, Steve got in touch with me. I've just started doing that. I'll hide his address. Yeah, there we go. Can you see that? Look, bonus points for anybody who knows where he lives based off that flag in the middle there. Anybody get it? Obviously, that's me decorating the envelope. Anyone know that? Can you see it? It looks pretty clear. Anyone know where that flag is? Bonus bootneck for anyone who can get it. Obviously, you know the other two, right? I mean, they're pretty obvious. There we go. Yeah, the British flag. There's an American flag. What's that one in the middle? Obviously, Steve can't tell you because that's cheating. General Pinochet did nothing. Well, I mean, you've all heard my feelings on General Pinochet, haven't you? Basically, when you get a right-wing arsehole, he probably kills a couple of 100 people a year. But he keeps a functioning country. No, actually, ladies and gentlemen, it was the Isle of Wight, which I had to Google. Isle of Wight have their own flag, and that's where Steve lives, the posh bastard. Nice in the Isle of Wight, isn't it? I remember my mum and dad took me there once when I was a bairn, family holiday when I was about 8. Pretty nice place. Where's the flag? Let me have a look. I just pulled it up this morning. Yeah, there it is. The Isle of Wight flag. I mean, fair one. It probably wasn't the best representation in the world, but it was. I mean, real time, you're looking at about 6 millimeters across, I think. Yeah, Isle of Wight. So well done, Steve. You posh bastard. You can tell he's posh. His house has a name. It wasn't called like 4 Twat Street, Middlesbrough Stan. It was, the Brambles or something. So only posh people have a name for their house. Typical, innit? Typical. Give it away. Posh blokes win. Posh bloke wins. I'm only kidding, Steve. I'm sure there are normal human beings living in the Isle of Wight. Basically, you must forgive me. When you're from Middlesbrough, everywhere is posh. Everywhere. I jumped out of the helicopter in Baghdad and I was like, oh. Like the equivalent of a Borough lad jumping out in Baghdad is like taking a goat herding tribesman from like Algeria and dropping him off in Windsor Gardens, dropping him off in the Queen's finely adorned back garden. Anyway, any northern gamers out there, you might like Landlord Super. Funny as that a game, Landlord Super. Brambles Farm. Fucking steady on. I worked in Brambles Farm. What are you telling me? Brambles Farm's posh. Brambles Farm's a fucking shithole, like almost everywhere in Middlesbrough. The only places in the whole, like in most towns, you've got areas that are nice and areas that are shitholes on you. And in Borough, they're all shitholes. I can't think of anywhere that's Nunthorpe, which is basically North Yorkshire, on the cusp of basically, if it's right on the cusp of North Yorkshire where all the green fields are, it's nice. you leave Middlesbrough and you go to places that are technically in borough, like Great Ayton, Stokesley, all them places on the cusp. They're nice, but the actual town itself, Brambles Farm's fucking horrendous. Brambles Farm is basically one of those places that I like to hold up as evidence that the welfare system is broken. Because when you drive through Brambles Farm, all the houses are fucking horrendous and look like, you know what I'm talking about, dead guinea pigs in the front garden. It's like, you look over the front garden, there's like upside down trampolines, fucking 3-wheeled plastic go-karts, thousands of cans of special brew, dead pets, dead gerbil, dead guinea pig, fucking 3-legged dog. And then when the bloke comes out, he's got 600 gold chains on him and more expensive shoes than I've ever owned, and a Burberry tracksuit. So you go, oh yeah, this is working, isn't it? This is working. These are the same people who moan about not having enough to feed the kids. It's like, you've got enough for fags. You smoke, I don't. You drink more than me. You've got more expensive clothes than me. And you've got more shite in your front garden than you'd find in Toys R Us and the pet cemetery. But apparently the welfare system works fucking brilliant. The welfare system in the UK works like the NHS works. It works for chancers, piss takers, and people that have never paid into it. But it doesn't work for the people that it should work for, which is the silly bastards that pay for it all. Right? Easy. Anyway, Borough was once... Well, see, what's mad about that is Liverpool was the capital of culture, wasn't it? Liverpool was the capital of culture. And Liverpool is just... It's just bollocks, isn't it? It's like everything nowadays. We don't live in a meritocracy anymore. Liverpool gets given things it doesn't warrant because Liverpool is full of whinging communists that'll mourn if they don't get special treatment. Even in the core, you know, like bootnecks are like stoic blokes, and 95% of them are tough guys who you can fucking trust in life or death situations. But I'd still remember, excuse me, when I was doing my off-road driving course. It's like one of those Chad week-long courses you do when you, because there's nothing going on that year, if you're not on standby or deployed, to try and get you trained up. So you do loads of ad calls like pistol training and fucking storing, first aid and dangerous driving and stuff like that. I did an off-road driving course and I took this Wimmick over the top of a jump, proper thrashing it because I was having a bit of fun because we were off-road. And I stooped into the deck and I went too high or fast over this jump. And one of the tyres come off and it went boom and like rattled loads. And me and this scouse lad were laughing. And then I got out to change the tyre. And he went, oh, me back, I'm going to have to get some compo. He was talking about compo straight away. I was like, you are just all a stereotype, aren't you? Again, not all of them. 70% of them. 70% of them, Teresa. If you're a scouser and you're not a communist, congratulations. I mean, credit where it's due. If you're a scouser or a Geordie or a Mackham or a monkey hanger and you're not a communist, you deserve more credit than anyone because you've managed to think for yourself while surrounded by cretins. But yeah, scout. If I have to pick one city, as I've told you a lot before, that I have to stereotype, because again, I'm not a communist, I'm an individualist, so I'm not slagging off all scousers. I can get on with the conservative ones. But if I have to pick one city that I've got no time for, it's Liverpool. You see them all with them signs, Scouse, not English. Please, you commie rats, just move to Ireland and start voting for Sinn Féin. Go vote for Shinners. Just move. I don't understand the people that don't move. You know, I was saying how it seems to me that the whole abortion debate in the United States, caveat by the way, the black-pilled bootneck is pro-abortion. There's probably a lot of religious people in the chat that aren't. But me, I'm this black-pilled, cynical realist. I'm not bothered about abortion because, frankly, I think there's too many people. People talk about children being the fucking most precious resource. Children aren't our most precious resource. You know what we need? Silicon, oil, diamonds. Like children. You can't not be cynical and pro-abortion when you're from Middlesbrough, because when you just see every obese, toothless chav squirting kids out everywhere they go, need baby for money. There's another one. Need baby for money. Who's the father of that one? There's another one. Who's the father of that one? Pizza boy. Tyrone. Random Somalian fella I bumped into at the back of the job centre. I don't care. I really don't care. I know that makes me sound awful, but I just don't. I mean, if I'm being serious and I'm not just trying to get a laugh, I'm in the middle on that one, as I've talked about. Christopher Hitchens has sort of elucidated my opinions. It is if it's not a baby, it is at least the potential for a baby very early on. If it's not a life, it's the potential for a life. It should be a difficult decision, and they should be safe and rare. But if I'm just riffing in the pub, I couldn't give a monkey's fart. I don't care. There's too many fucking people. I think we should have like genetic testing. And if you're a complete donut, if you're a human with more feet than teeth and you haven't got two brain cells to rub together, I don't think you should be. I think we should be taking all measures to encourage you not to fucking multiply. Yeah. Because as I've said, we're living in an era. This is what I would ask a conservative person who's dead set against abortion. Seriously. We're living in an era where every toothless, one-eyed mutant has a shitload of kids, and all the normal people don't. So I want you to tell me. This is again, the Bootneck is an original thinker. I don't get all mine off everybody else and just regurgitate on the internet. I think for myself. So these are original thoughts. I've never seen any YouTube videos because a lot of them, when you watch loads of YouTube like we do, a lot of it is repeating itself, isn't it? Bootneck tries to be original. So this is an original thought. I haven't seen anyone argue this point. But if you're a conservative and you're dead set against abortion, you tell me, Sadwings, I know you are, you tell me what we should do about the biggest problem. And the biggest problem is all the mutants breed like wet gremlins and all the clever people don't. It's like we're doing Darwinism in reverse. I mean, seriously, right? The Bootneck is, let's be honest, objectively, let's just say average or above intelligence. I don't think I'm a rocket scientist, but I'm quick-witted. I'm definitely not a plank, right? No kids. All my mates, my mate Bonesy, he's an engineer, he's got two. My mate Hay, he's a self-employed, he's an engineer and now he's got his own business, he's a go-getter, he's got no kids. My mate Dave's got two. My mate Muzzy's got one. My mate Stell's got one. If I go through all my mates, bear in mind you need 2.1 children to replace yourselves. I'll go through all my mates that aren't complete mutants, all the ones that are clever. They've got, like, let's say there's 20 of us. We've got 15 kids between us, less 12 kids between us. If I walk into my local, let's pick somewhere even dafter than my local, Hartlepool. If I go into Hartlepool and I walk into one of them, the working men's clubs, and I say, lads, I know it's a misnomer because it's called a working men's club, but can you point me at the thickest twat you've ever met? I guarantee that fuckknuckle has got more kids than he's had hot dinners. We're living in mutant fucking land. If we carry on with these demographics, in 100 years' time, if any of you in the chat have got normal children, like in 100 years' time, your great-great-great-granddaughter is going to be like Cinderella. She's going to be like walking down the street, even if she's just an average looker, like 6 out of 10. She's going to be like Sports Illustrated supermodel because 9 out of 10 kids are going to be toothless, one-eyed simpletons. Darwinism is a thing, you know. I know like creationists in America don't think it's true, but it's real science. Like if you get Sally Gunnell as a kid with fucking Steve Cram, the kid's probably going to be athletic. That does work that way. That's why when you see American black people that were in areas where they had slavery, they're always bigger and taller and stronger than when you go somewhere like Somalia and see some skinny dying goat herder. It's not just because he's got less scram and out here they've got Burger King. Because humans are like any other mammal. And this stuff has been proven. Racehorses, remember on trading places when they're arguing about nurture versus nature? Humans are just like racehorses. You know, we're all on the tree of life and we're all related, right? If you get two little, short, fat, stupid people, the children are far more likely to be little, short, fat, and stupid. If you get a woman who's 6 foot and she shags a bloke who's 6'4", you best believe the kid's going to be a big bastard. Basic science. So my argument, I'm not coming at abortion from anything clever, anything philosophical, or anything religious. I'm just saying, if you want me to ban abortion, if you want me to keep abortion illegal in these red states, you need to talk me into. You need to come up with a plan to tell me how we're going to convince the clever people to multiply. Now the Hungarians, based Orban, has already started, hasn't he? And they've offered incentives. If I was getting an incentive, I'd have kids. But again, I'm blackpilled. This is what I've told you lot. I've chosen not to do it because I'm cynical and pessimistic, and I'm not doing it. I hate working. I'm even resentful about the fact that I go to work and pay my taxes because all of our taxes pay for our destruction, as I've told you. They do. Like, to me, it's now moral. It's morally justified to not pay your license fee and get a taxman to do whatever he can to ensure you pay as little tax as possible. Jimmy Carr. Everyone was lambasting Jimmy Carr. I know I'm a contrarian. I'm always arguing with you fuckers because I'm sure this will not make me popular either. But contrarians say it because they just want to be a contrarian. I actually mean it. Jimmy Carr didn't annoy me when he was dodging his taxes. If Jimmy Carr annoyed you for dodging his taxes, by the way, legally, I have to put that in there because I can't promote illegal behaviour. That's how they'll get that's how they got Al Capone. It's definitely how they'll get Angry Bootneck. If they got AC by the balls, they'll definitely get AB by the balls. So Jimmy Carr was getting a taxman to legally ensure he paid as little tax as possible. I'm telling you, I'm pro that. Do it. Because the money that you pay to the state it's immoral to pay your taxes in this day and age. Like, I'll go so far as to say that. People go, oh, yeah, but I mean, this is what I used to think 10 years ago when I was a moron, when I was a milquetoast, fucking centre-left. Ooh, we all need to pay taxes because we have to have schools and roads. Oh, what do we spend it on now? What do we spend it on now? Gender studies professors. If you pay your taxes now, you're helping screw your own grandkids. You're paying for schools that brainwash your children. You don't pay for the roads. You don't. They just leave them. You're paying Diane Abbott's sausage rolls, so she's going to die of a coronary, and it's your fault. Everything that fat land mammal eats gets put on her expenses, right? So every penny you pay in income tax, you're contributing to Diane Abbott eating a fucking Greg's dry. You're contributing to Diane Abbott. You're buying Diane Abbott's spoon, the big titanium spork that she uses to fucking guzzle mayonnaise straight out of the jar. You're paying to keep her mentally ill smack rat son in prison, feed him 3 square meals a day. There's nothing good we spend our taxes on. Like nothing. Nigerian Spice Girls, communist indoctrination, the BBC, The Guardian, because bear in mind we pay for the BBC and then the BBC buys all the copies of The Guardian to keep that money alive in all these communist revolutionary sects. You're paying for the communist Supreme Court. You're paying for the partisan justice system, the College of Policing, woke MI5, woke MI6, MPs' wages. What are you paying your taxes for? It's moral and right in 2022 to do a Jimmy Carr. And if you want me to change my mind and say, yeah, we should all pay our taxes in full, then I need to have trust in the state once again. When we can trust the state and it hasn't been completely consumed by communist and woke academics, I'll start happily paying all of my taxes in full. But until then, I'm going to hire legal taxman to fucking jump through as many hoops as possible to make it so that I'm not giving because I'd feel guilty. If I've paid all of my taxes in full, I'd feel guilty. Worse than all that as well, think about it. You're paying for bombs to drop on little babies. That's what your taxes go on. I'm with the American taxation is theft crowd now. It's theft. Well, every penny that we pay, they waste. So taxation is theft. Yeah, giving it a board. Nigerian Spice Girls, foreign Nazis, communists at home, woke teachers. The Tavistock Clinic we're paying for that to brainwash children and chop the baps off. Kira Bell would still be in possession of a cracking set of threepenny bits if we hadn't paid our income taxes and then some communist doctors took a meat cleaver to them. So to me, genuinely, you should feel guilty if you if you pay your taxes. Mick Philpott's kids got set on fire because you paid him to breed like a wet gremlin, and you bought his special brew and his fags and his matches and his small overcrowded council house. So basically, it's not moral to pay your taxes anymore. Yeah, rotten politics knows the crack. Taxation is theft. Yeah, I'm with them boys now. Again, this is when you know you're not an ideologue, because you constantly change your mind. I was pro paying my taxes like a good little citizen about 20 years of my 40. In fact, no, let's go adult life, because you don't know anything when you're 15. From the age of about 18 to 35, I was pro, you got to pay your taxes. Got to pay taxes. We all need to benefit. Oh, yeah, it's good for us all. Now I'm like, yeah, you will have to drag every penny off me by force. Like, no, but seriously, you can pay someone to do your taxes. It's harder in England, but in America, basically, you have to do your taxes every year. So you pay a professional. If you don't pay a professional, you pay more than you need to. And I am all for anything. Jimmy Carr had the right of it. If Jimmy Carr can do it, you can do it. I don't know how much it'll cost you. Just ring someone and say, will you take a percentage of what you save me? But yeah, don't give them a penny. Don't give them a penny. Anyway, I'm not ranting about income tax and anything else I've gone on a rant about. Let's have a quick read through this fantastic story from yesterday. So, the 3-week-old Biden disinformation task force has been paused. Get in. Didn't see that coming, did you? I showed you guys 2 or 3 weeks ago, I didn't have a cringe video of that woman singing like Mary Poppins. I was like, oh God, kill me. That was proper bad, that. So it says, critics pilloried the Disinformation Governance Board when it was launched 3 weeks ago, warning it would be used to censor free speech. On Wednesday, Nina Jakovich resigned, citing vile personal attacks and physical threats. It's always that, isn't it? It's always, you go on the internet and say things that make everybody despise you. And then because people give you vile personal attacks, it's not a vile personal attack to call an idiot an idiot. Think about it. I haven't told you lot I've showed some of you guys my funniest death threats. There was that fat Asian gentleman who sent me a death threat because I said something factual about Jesus and Muhammad, and he responded, Matt Taylor, if I see you in person, one of us will not leave the room alive. And I was like, listen, fatty, I'll dance round your fucking cowhead and give you so many lefts you'll beg me for a right. I'll punch every Battenberg crumb off your face if you attempt to kill me, son. So on your own head be it. That's what you respond to when you get death threats. And as for vile personal attacks, what's vile about it? Someone says to me, listen, you fat, hairy, pasty, bootneck wanker, I hate you and I hope you die soon. I laugh and say, that's freedom of speech in action. And I can respond in kind. Look at the clip of you. You have been apple bobbing in the deep fat fryer. You've got a fucking face like a melted welly. Ha ha. Look at the state of your missus, and especially that ugly ginger abortion in the pram she should be fucking pulling. Because she should be. If you push that pram, she's going to... Anyway, I've repeated that gag loads of times, pulling the pram. Yeah, pull the pram. Pull that ginger mutant all the way to the special needs school. That's what I respond if someone responds to vile personal attacks to me. That's what grown-ups are supposed to do. And this twat, if you're grown up enough to be in one of the most powerful positions in the country, you should be grown enough to deal with personal attacks. Oh, personal attacks. I get personal attacks all day long. Do it. Do it right now. Call me what you like. Hairy, baldy, short ass, whatever you like. I don't care. And I'm not running anything. I'm just sat here for my own perverse amusement. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm doing it with humor like I always do, but it's ridiculous. Vile personal attacks. If you come on television and tell 340 million people, I'm adding 20 million illegal immigrants, tell 340 million people that you're going to stomp all over their human rights, their rights of assembly and freedom of speech. If you fucking tell 340 million American citizens that you are going to shit all over their heads, they have the right to say, suck my left testy. They've got the right to do that. I hate the way we use this. As someone who's very infantile and very much does enjoy vile personal attacks when I'm socializing with my friends, right? Have you ever hung around with men? Are we nice to each other? If your best mate walks in and goes, do you like my hair? I got it done Tony and Guy. Do you say, yes, it looks striking? Or do you say, it looks like Stevie Wonder cut your hair with boxing gloves on and your shirt looks shit? Did you pinch it out the clothing bin behind the Salvation Army hostel? And your missus is ugly and your kids are stupid. That's what men do. It's how we bond. We mock each other. So what she calls vile personal attacks, I call humorous quips that free men and women are allowed to say. And that's not my opinion. That's a fact. Because everything uttered, words are merely wind. Everything uttered is subject to the opinion of the listeners. Everything. Her vile personal attack is my hilarious quip. Prove me wrong, Commissar Janker Twat. Prove me wrong. I'm allowed to think that. You don't have command over my faculties, you disturbing, jackbooted, authoritarian shithead. I'm allowed to call you names. You think it's a name, I think it's humorous. I think it's hilarious. And I'm sure there's a few 100 million Americans that think it's hilarious. It's complete nonsense. Actions are different because they're demonstrable, right? So I'm not advocating the fictional part of this sentence. And you know what the fictional part is? That's the fictional part, because that's what they always do. Kathy Newman. Look no further than Kathy Newman. Google it, Kathy Newman, Jordan Peterson. And after you've split your sides laughing, go a few links down and you'll see the Guardian ones. Kathy Newman. Ooh, I was threatened. Ooh, you weren't. You weren't. They lie. They lie like a Chinese Rolex. They always pull that one. They're in the wrong because they're awful. And then people say, whoa, this chick's fucking awful, isn't she? And they go, oh yeah, I've had rape threats. Lies. Lies. And if you have, it's probably from about 0.0000001% of the society. And if that's the case, you can safely ignore them. I've had death threats. Don't care. Don't care. Take your death threats, fold them up, and fuck them, is what I say to anyone who sends me a death threat, because I'm a grown-up. These people are snakes. All they do is lie. They attack people, they smear, they lie, they cheat, they steal, they backstab, they manipulate. And then when anyone hears it and gets wind of what they're doing and says, whoa, she seems like a bitch, they go, oh yeah, I'm the victim. I'm the victim. They'll be stomping on your rights for months, shamelessly. And then when someone notices and goes, whoa, Miss Jankovic seems like a bit of a twat, she'll go, oh my God, physical threats. Physical threats, I'm unsafe. How many times have I talked about it? They've been trained, they know what to say, because they know the law gets involved when it goes from the verbal to the physical. So they couch everything in language that sounds physical. Silence is violence. Silence is violence. Think of that. Think of that. They actually had the gall to write that down on placards and take to the streets. Silence is violence. No, it isn't. Violence is violence. Silence is literally, this is silence. Do you feel in physical pain? Violence hurts. Wiring your genitals, doing what doing what Sads did to his opponents in Iraq, yeah? Making you balance precariously one-legged on a cardboard box with a packet of pork scratchings over your head and your testicles wired to the mains. That's violence. This is silence. Which of those two would you rather do? Pick one, right? This or pork scratchings, balancing, genitals wired up to the mains. Pick one. Go on. I'll wait and see what decision you're going to come to, because we know it's nonsense. It's nonsense, right? So silence can never be violence, and words can never be violence. Words can never be violence. Me calling you a shithead isn't violence. It's merely wind. And you have the right to call me the exact same in return. I mean, there's nothing more egalitarian than that, is there? There's nothing more fair. There's nothing more equitable. They love that word, equitable. If you call me a twat and I go, ooh, well, you're a twat. Equity has been achieved. Praise the Lord. We're now at maximum equity. You called me a twat. I called you a twat. All is right with the world. Surely AOC loves that. All she talks about is equity. Make everything equal and everyone equal. Well, yeah. Well, if I can call Nina Jankowicz a twat, and she's free to do the same. Equality. So poke it, Jack a twat. Poke it. She said the board's future was uncertain. No shit, Sherlock. The task force sparked a massive outcry, largely from the right. No, that's not even true, is it? It's from anybody who's sane. So basically, as I've talked about, to me, it seems like the woke are about 15% of the world. About 15% of our society are deranged, insane wokists. And yeah, just because they run YouTube and Google and Facebook and the BBC and MI5 and MI6 and the FBI and the CIA, because it was all part of the plan, marching through the institutions, taking over academia, churning them out of colleges, and obviously 99.99% of people that are running the world went to elite academic institutions where they all got turned into commies. So here we are. But it's literally about 15% of society are lording it over the 85%. Like every single Democrat I've met, I bring it up and say, like, what about all this woke shit? And honestly, it's possible that I'm intimidating them and they're lying to me, but not all of them can be doing it. And everyone laughs at the woke. Every like actual Democrat voter I've seen has been like, yeah, we don't agree with that. They've got us over a barrel. 10-15% of society have got the rest of us over a barrel. Or maybe everyone. Hey, I'm out. I'm flaming. I'm flaming Republican. I'm out and proud. I am the Ricky Martin fingering himself whilst wearing a pink frock on stage at Glastonbury Festival. That's how out I am. I am a Republican now. I'll hold my nose and vote Republican. I've told you that for about a year, haven't I? I'm not a registered Republican, but I will definitely pick a Republican candidate over a Democrat one in the next election. 100%. 100%. As I've said, this is what I've talked about. I'm not a natural Republican because I've got no time for the religiosity. I'm not an American religious conservative. But if you're going to make me pick between someone who I don't like Ted Cruz, or someone who I think is completely insane, who are you going to pick? Think about it. To me, I'll tell you, that's a good analogy I can use. It's picking someone you don't like versus picking someone who's completely insane. It's like asking me who you want to mind the kids tomorrow and making me pick between the local chav, the local chavvy, pisshead, sort of generally lamentable dole waller, who I definitely don't like, or Jeffrey Dahmer, who, if you don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, used to fucking liquidize people. He wanted to create the world's first homosexual zombie He sprayed acid into people's ears and skull fucked the corpses. And then when they went into his house, he had a collection of skulls which he sprayed a variety of colours on his throne of skulls. That's who I'm picking between. And anybody said if you have to pick between someone you definitely don't like or somebody who has a throne of skulls in his bedroom and liquidized corpses in a barrel in the kitchen, I like to think everybody in humanity would go, they'll shuffle towards the dislikable person. And to me, that's no choice at all, is it? It's someone you hate versus a full-blown fucking nutcase. And the walk are insane. Every single thing that comes up nowadays proves how crazy they are. That last video I made about how it's mutually exclusive, all these positions they have, it's the same on every issue. It's the same on every single issue. You have to be insane because the Republican right are a little bit hypocritical, especially the religious ones, because they'll say you shouldn't do that and then they'll get caught doing it themselves. That's why I don't like the religious right. Because you best bet the guy who's constantly going on about it saying, oh, yeah, homosexuality and drug abuse and gambling's illegal. It should be all illegal. Yeah, it's sinful. It's against God. You best bet your bottom dollar that he's going to get caught in a casino getting sucked off by a rent boy while sniffing coke off a bent copper's dick. That's what they do. So I haven't got any time for the religious lot because they're just hypocritical. They use the religiosity to not bother being a nice person in the first place. I'm not religious. I'm just a good bloke because I have a sense of honor and self-discipline. I feel as if a lot of religious people think because they're religious, they don't have to do any of the hard work. Like, especially the Catholics, I don't have to be a nice person. I can just go and confess my sins and I'll get in for the party anyway. Well, I don't think there is a party. I just think I like looking at myself in the mirror and being proud of the man who stares back at me. So I don't need any religious. I've got no time for the religious stuff. But yeah, it's not that low, Sadwings. It's not that low in America. It's about 25%, isn't it? You've got a lot of fundies in the South in America. But yeah, like I said, it's not even up for debate anymore. I'm voting Republican. Yeah, because it's person who I don't like versus complete batshit Fred West in a frock. I don't know what else is mad. What's madder than Fred West in a frock? Harold Shipman with spinning round in circles going wop, 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 wop. That's how crazy they are. They're totally insane. So not interested in the left anymore. Right, what else have we got? I haven't even finished this one yet. So civil liberties and human rights groups such as Protect Democracy and the Electronic Frontier, even the ACLU, which are basically fucking woke lefties at this point, came out and said this isn't a good idea. Electronic Frontier Foundation and Protect Democracy, these aren't right-wing, left-wing organisations. And then pointed out that the Department of Homeland Security has a poor track record on issues of privacy and free speech rights. No shit, Sherlock. Suspending habeas corpus and spying on Americans without anybody knowing about it. Yeah, no shit. Says Republicans also expressed concern about the board's work, which is taking place under a Democratic administration, could be weaponized against conservatives. Critics derided it as the Ministry of Truth from Orwell's dystopian novel. Miss Jankowicz, 33, a 33-year-old, emotionally incontinent, histrionic narcissist, singing shamelessly on TikTok. This is who was going to run it. 33-year-old. She just looks like an authoritarian. Look at her face there. Sort of slightly scrunched up in like a rictus of hate. Like you knew she'd be terrifying. She'd probably wear like leather. Like a cross between SS and gimp suit. And she'd be like, take his freedom of speech away. With like a cat or nine tails. Oh yeah, that makes me hot. These sex pest deviant walkers. Because they're all sex pets, aren't they? I bet she's got a clitoris like Rocky Speedball. They're all sex pests as well. So that's another reason I don't trust them. Jankovic would have me. She'd have Bootneck's channel off the air and then I'd be chained to a rack whilst she bestraddled me and banged me until my ball sack was wafer thin. She'd shag me until my pubes burst into flames. the friction that it had built up. These people are all sickos. Have you read the stuff they get up to, these sex pests in Silicon Valley as well? There's loads of mad shit out there about Jack Doorstop. Jack Doorstop is an absolute creature. I don't even want to know what Jack Doorstop gets up to with his human trafficked Russian child brides. I don't even want to know what he gets up. But they're absolute degenerates, a lot of them. So yeah, I'm quite happy that Miss Jankowicz isn't in the position that she's in anymore. As in testimony before the US Senate earlier this month, Alejandro Mayorkas assured lawmakers the group was not the truth police. Oh yeah, and you've been so good, but it's up to now, lads, haven't you? But I acknowledge the rollout was suboptimal. I hate the doublespeak they use. Suboptimal. Suboptimal. No, everybody can see you for what you are. Commie rat. You're a member of the woke Gestapo. You will spy on Americans without any shame. You will lie and cheat to Americans. You will fucking rip their social life to pieces to look for any piece of dirt, like the Spanish Inquisition. You have got no shame, Mayor Twat. None. And the worst of it is, as always, hypocrisy. The ones who go hardest for normal people are the ones who've got the skeletons in the closet. Alejandro Mayorkas would be the type of bloke who'll haul me over the coals for calling him a twat. And then a couple of years later, it'll leak that he's on video skull fucking an 8-year-old. Like, that's how bad these people are. They are the worst people in America. So, yeah, suboptimal. Suboptimal? I think not. I think you did a fantastic job, mate. You basically got caught talking honestly for the fucking only time in your life, and everybody was horrified by it. So yeah, I think you did a great job. That wasn't suboptimal. Oh, suboptimal. I hate it. Like, how many times have I told you that I hate it? I hate the double speak, the new speak, the obfuscation with clever words, cunning, manipulative words. Missing disinformation. You mean lies. Lies. Mistruths. Lies. We don't need clever synonyms for these things. Suboptimal. Lies. Mistruths. Lies. Misnomers. Lies. Liar. Pants on fire. You slimy, horrible, sneaky, deviant sex pests. That's what I have to say about that. Let's do something else, shall we? What else have I got? Oh, look, speaking of, what about this? It's telling me I have to register. Piss off. I hate the BBC. I live for the day. You know what, me and my missus were talking about that yesterday again when we went for a walk. Oh, I've got enemies. I was like, enemies. Look at that. News you can trust is news you can use. What about Jimmy Savile worked for us for 30 years, bumming cadavers? How about I put that on you? Make that pop up when I click on the BBC website. Fucking kids is cool if you work for the BBC. Put that up. I want to see. When I click on the BBC website, I want to see a big picture of Jimmy Savile with a cigar in his mouth, a Lou Messing shell suit with his arm around two kids. Yeah. Put that on your own page, BBC. Do that, and then I might register. You absolute worms. So there we are. MI5 agent used secret status to terrorize his girlfriend. Oh, this will be good, won't it? That was a good segue, wasn't it? Because I was just saying now, because the commies have taken over the state and all the institutions that we used to trust. So I went from not paying your taxes to these people to talking about these people taking over all of the important jobs and trying to set up a ministry of truth. And now to finally end with more evidence of one of these pillars of the state, one of these formerly trusted institutions now being ran by mentally ill communist sex pests. And here's another one. MI5 agent used secret state. Of course he did. Of course he did. He's probably got 6 women chained to the radiator in his underground shag cellar. That's the type of people that work for these fuckers now. This man is probably a human toilet. And he's got power of life and death over people. Let's have a look. First of all, it's got upsetting images. Come on then. Although it won't. It'll be safe for YouTube because everything's distressing to the BBC.
Look at yourself. Look at yourself.
Look at yourself. Has he got a whip? Yeah, see, sex pest. Whoosh, whoosh. Okay, yeah, so that was what you'd expect, yeah. Gimp mask, whip. Whoosh, whoosh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Tweaking his nipples while he censors people on the internet. So it says he used his status to terrorize his partner before moving abroad to continue intelligence work while under investigation. Brilliant. Brilliant. Attacking, threatening to kill. Oh, my God, it was a machete. That's even worse. That's even worse. So he's going to lop a nut off. The foreign national cannot be named, despite evidence he is a threat to women. You'd have to laugh, don't you? You'd have to laugh. These are the feminists. You can't name him because, despite the fact he's a threat to women, because the feminists in the government took the BBC to court to block publication. Oh, look, evidence shows he is a right winger. Of course he is. Of course he is. They let loads of them in MI5. What, woke MI5 and woke MI6 hire right-wing extremists to them? The demonstrably woke, far-left organisations typically hire right-wing extremists. Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. And if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. In an unprecedented legal battle, the corporation argued that women who had a right to know his identity and it would protect them from harm, but the BBC successfully resisted the government's attempt to stop publication of this investigation. Another thing, have you noticed this? There's all these pop-ups now. Trust. This is like the literal definition of, the lady doth protest too much. If the BBC actually believed that they weren't lying to you constantly, they wouldn't suddenly have pop-ups every 10 seconds, would they? When I used to read the BBC back in the days, when it was trusted and it wasn't subverted by communist revolutionaries, the BBC didn't constantly throw pop-ups at me. But now, every 10 seconds, it's more people trust the BBC. Trust. You keep repeating that people trust the BBC because nobody trusts the BBC. Nobody trusts the BBC. The only aspect of trust I have is in the bulldozer driver who I trust will one day flatten Broadcasting House, salt the earth, and deny the BBC ever existed. That's the only person I trust. The bloke who's going to drive the JCB through the bastard BBC, rid us of the cancer once and for all. The tumour on the bollocks of society. That's the BBC. So, anyway, Beth, a British national, met the agent on a dating website. Brilliant. Well, that's what you get, Beth, for going out with people in our woke security services. He was revealed to be a misogynistic extremist, obsessed with violence and cruelty. He used his position with the British Security Service to terrorise. He had complete control. I was a shadow of who I am now. Brilliant. Fantastic. And he's a foreigner. Why have we got foreign nationals working top secret for MI5? What are we doing? Importing wokists. He collected weapons and made her watch terrorist videos of executions and murders. Sounds like a splendid chap. He'll fit right in. He's definitely a bit of a mentally ill sex pest. He'll fit right in. Told her that he worked as a paid informant for the British Security Services, an agent or covert human intelligence source. Class. So I love that. Absolute nutcase. And MI5, yeah, quality. Well, again, is this not what we expected? What have I been telling you? We don't live in a meritocracy anymore. They probably hired him because he's got a bit of a tan. If I tried to work for MI5, they'd say, nah, we're not interested in you, Whitey. What? Physically fit, mentally robust, working class white bloke? Nah, we're going to get a black disabled lesbian with a penis. She'll be good. She'll be sorted. It's lunacy. How long have I been saying it? 2.5 years? I've been telling you, the meritocracy is gone. Britain's done. That's why the Bootneck's blackpilled. Britain's done. It's done. It has to get worse before it gets better. Because nobody competent gets the job anymore working for the state. Nobody. If you get a really superb person who wants a job, but he's a straight white man from a council estate, he's not getting the job. Someone who is special needs but ticks a box will get the job. It's been that way for years. As I keep telling you, the UK is done. Jump on the bandwagon, the Blackpilled bandwagon. It's shocking. It's going. We're all done. Until we get the complete, total breakdown of civil society in the UK, and that's going to come at the hands of a commie government, not just the woke conservatives who pretend they're playing at communism. We need the full-on commies to win. Yeah, Bootneck can't get a job in the government. No way. My mate Richie, who tried to join the Met years ago, he's one of the strongest, fittest. He's tall as well. He'd make the old height requirements, like 6'2". Tall, strong, fit, mentally robust, intelligent, a lot. No chance. He didn't get the gig. And then have you seen the passing out parade for the Met Police nowadays? It's like, Ompa, Lompa, don't be do, go down the line. Just these grotesque freaks. So, you know, like the camera pans along down the line. That's what it'd be like. Mutants. They don't hire normal people for the fucking Met Police anymore. Just, if you've got an head like a wheelie bin, a 10-stone skull, you'll be a copper. You need to get your helmet specially made. Whoever it was that designed the Statue of Liberty, we'll get them to make your police helmet for you. Because it's going to be like a circumference as wide as your bathroom. There's nobody competent gets to be a copper anymore. Why would it be the same for MI5? Does anybody know anyone competent who's joined the police lately? A sleek, slim, fit, fast, tall, intelligent man joined the police. No. It's freak show. The freak show's pitched its tent and it's in the Metropolitan Police Department. I mean, every aspect of the capital now. Look at the clip of the mayor. The mayor, he looks like a parrot. Got a nose like a builder's elbow. Of course, they don't have... If it's at the very top, Cressida Dick was a diversity hire. The leader of the Met was a diversity hire. They didn't want... I told you I have a mate who was in the Met, old school, because he joined about 20 years ago. He told me this. She wasn't supposed to get the job. It was supposed to go to some actually competent white man from Scotland, a Scottish copper, who got the crime from Glasgow down by about 30%. He was meant to get the job. Cressida Dick was a diversity hire. Cressida Dick got hired because she scissors other women. And she's got a fucking bearded clam that's about... It's like boiled leather down there. That's why Cressida Dick got the job. She's got a clitoris like a casing. You know, the ones that you could boot through hedgerows and they just took it like a man. That's why she got the job. So she's a diversity hire. She's at the very, very top of the tree. The mayor's a diversity hire. He's at the very, very top of the tree. The competent people don't get the jobs anymore. So, of course, it started with the police. It's MI5, it's MI6, it's all of them. It's all of them. They only hire morons. That's why Lee Rigby hasn't got ahead. Because the people that are supposed to watch and stop and deter terrorists are about as much use as a nun's fanny. So that's why this is happening. Of course, it starts at the top. It's a pyramid. Shit rolls downhill. If the chief of police and the mayor are diversity hires, then everybody else is a diversity hire. So get used to it. I could have called this 2 years ago. Of course, the MI5 agent is a sex pest, violent psychopath. Of course he is. This is why you need to be blackpilled. We're in the shit. You need to stay fit, stay focused, stay strong, look after yourself. Self-help, as JP talks about. Look after yourself, look after your kids. You cannot rely on the state to do anything. The police don't catch criminals. The security services don't look out for your safety. The politicians only there for the salary. Nobody cares about you. Accept it, and your life will be better. Do what I do. Look after yourself. My old man never used to ring the police. 20 years ago, he told me there's no point ringing them. They don't catch criminals. They only catch them if they're mega, mega high profile, and then they'll wheel out the old school coppers that have been on the force 35 years. They'll get them to catch them. But in general, nobody who works for the state's going to help you. So just get used to it. Get used to it. You can only rely on yourself. And that's an empowering thought, isn't it? Because it makes you focused and diligent. And you think, you know what? I've got to look after myself because nobody else will. Everything in Britain is a shambles. Get used to it. Right? Winner. Winner. And yeah, don't start me on that baggy-faced human frog. Don't start me on that guy. Right. That's nearly an hour. You can have that for now, you twats. Thank you very much for listening. I will be back tomorrow. Unless MI5 and MI6 get wind of it, at which point I'll be getting bummed senseless by a bloke in a gimp suit with a big spiky strap on that's got Metropolitan Police tattooed down the length of it. All right. Thanks for listening, ladies and gents. Always appreciated. I'll do some more wacky news tomorrow. All right. Cheers.